Killer Mike jumped out the window on somebody's post about Ayesha Curry. Like a lot of people have been. You guys feel that Ayesha is disrespecting her marriage, disrespecting her man. She wants the attention. She wants to be out there having a hot girl summer.
Yeah, she's trying to get some of that.
Twerk, twerk.
Not from Steph.
This is what people feel, right? And so Killer Mike left a little bit of commentary on a post regarding this, right? He has something to say. He said specifically, let me pull it up because, I like the receipts. He left a comment and he said, my ninja said she want to go be Glow, as in Glorilla. Man, Steph doesn't deserve the embarrassment for real, for real. God bless him. And then you know what happened? Steph Curry found his way to the comments section of wherever this was posted. And Steph said to Killer Mike, nah, not you, Mike. I'm cool staying silent and letting these other clowns have their moment. And you're the worst of them, whoever this TikToker was. But you better than that, Killer Mike. Stay in your lane and let God keep blessing me like he is. We are good over here. Deuces. So Steph is saying he's not tripping. He's not worried. He's good in his situation. Why is everybody else so mad for him? Honestly. Steph has never alluded to or looked as if he was embarrassed, hurt, upset about Ayesha and her extracurricular activities. And I don't mean that in stepping out sense. I mean in, her endeavors, her partying or whatever. So why is everyone so bent on saying she doesn't respect her man? Why are you projecting? Because that's what it boils down to. Well, Andy.
I don't think any man wants their woman, significant other, to speak about them in that manner. I don't care. I don't care if you have them desires. You keep that tucked. I should be the only person to know that. And maybe, your close friends. But you on a podcast telling the whole world about your desires on that
level. There's so many stories like that. I mean, and I do understand, do not publicly embarrass me.
It makes it seem like Steph isn't holding it down.
But I also think that context is key. And people didn't allow for the context of the conversation she was having. She basically was saying she thought that they would just be friends. There's nothing wrong with that.
She talked about wanting attention from other men.
That was a separate, that was a separate. But I also feel as though context is key. People listen to those words, that part, and not the conversation that was around it and the bigger thing that she was saying.
2 strikes, you're out.
When we come forward, we'll get into Killer Mike's apology. So I want to play Killer Mike's apology, and then we got a phone call. So we'll get into that. He was on Club Shay Shay, right? So welcome back, Club Shay Shay. And Shannon asked him about it. So here was his response.
Steph Curry, Ayesha Curry. I apologize for my statement being misconstrued. I was just stoned up trying to make a joke out of it. What's something that it wasn't my damn business, like my wife said. Steph did something that all us brothers with women should do, and that's stand up and defend your woman. No matter if somebody step on a foot, no matter if they did it or not, man, check and say, hey, man, you didn't say excuse me. So let me say again, Ayesha, Steph, excuse me. I apologize deeply, and I'm searching for your address so I may send y'all some of this Paloma. Y'all may make more love, make beautiful light-skinned babies for us.
So, one, I appreciate the accountability. I appreciate him manning up and saying, I apologize. I was wrong. I was getting in your business and I had no place. I think more people need to be real about that position and do that, right? It wasn't like, he was just in the comments fooling around. But sometimes you got to remember, be respectful. Okay, we got a caller, Yolanda from Inglewood, the Biased Opinion. Welcome in, Yolanda. What's on your mind tonight?
What's up, Jill? Well, first of all, hi, how y'all doing? I miss y'all.
Hey,
Second of all, I just want to say that I was going to say something different, but when you just said what you said, it made me think about this. People want people in their business when they want praise and when they want accolades, and that are girls and that are boys, and pat on the back. But when somebody disagrees with your position or what you're saying, now you're in my business. Nobody asked her to go on a podcast and say the stuff that she said. So whether it was Killer Mike or myself or John or A Plus, she opened up the door for somebody to have an opinion about her life that she could have kept to herself.
I mean, and I think that's fair. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm going to let you continue. But what about the question of, but if Steph is okay with it in his marriage, doesn't that just kind of, I mean, he's still there.
It's the same thing with the Chris Brown and Rihanna situation, right? Rihanna done forgave Chris Brown, but there's so many people that still hold that against him.
And I think that's crazy. I think at a certain point, even if you don't rock with that, right, it is not impacting your day-to-day per se. Like, everybody can have a comment, but to be so angry, to be like, you know, she's disrespecting his manhood, she want a hoe in the streets. Y'all don't know that lady.
Well,
but go ahead. Go ahead.
To Chris Brown, for any of us who have lived long enough to have been 18 and then 28, then 38, and then whatever 8 you are right now, who wants to be held to the worst thing that they probably ever did forever? Like, that's just totally unfair. He was a kid. He was 18, 19 years old. He's a 38-year-old man now with a father of 3. His life is completely different. So that's just unfair. But back to Ayesha, she's a married woman who is a public figure who's cooked books and basketball, the real basketball wife. Why would you say something publicly like that to embarrass your husband, whether he's cool with being embarrassed by you or he's pretending to be cool to be embarrassed by you? Because to A Plus's point, who wants to be embarrassed by their mate anywhere, let alone on a podcast that everybody can hear?
But how many people really listen to the entire context of the conversation? If they had, let me tell you why it's important. Because context matters. And if you listen to the complete thought, then maybe you would understand that the point wasn't to embarrass or to elicit dissatisfaction or to position herself as, I was the catch in this thing. I wasn't looking at dude.
Okay, I'm going to say this. It's still her responsibility, right? She's on a podcast, and I know how these podcasts go. They going to clip it up. They gonna take a particular quote that they know that's gonna hook people in. If you know that this is gonna come out and you know that it's gonna get clipped Andy, that way,
Steph has said in interviews before when talking of their relationship, we were just friends at first. We met like at 15. He didn't say right off the bat, I was on her or anything like that. He felt the same. So
I heard.
Why is it right? Because nobody's paying attention to that. Because people got a target on Ayesha's back.
Yeah, because you're supposed to hold it down for the golden boy.
Kylos Maladry says they're only talking about Ayesha because she's good looking. Every man feels good when their woman frustrates other men. RG3 is another dude who probably enjoys out there. I see what you did there. However, I feel like that's a different one. I mean, maybe the causation in what you're setting up is the same, but I feel like it's different motivations and it's different type of responses. Like, I don't know. We'll see. Here's the thing. She didn't stay with him for the bag because they didn't get together until many years after the time period that she was talking about. But I mean, I feel that. I also think that we also might have a different, and when I say we, I mean people in general have a different barometer of what language is and what we feel is embarrassing or what we feel is taking it too far. Because she hasn't said anything technically to me, right, that is like questioning Steph as a man, as a father, as an individual, as far as his looks, his treatment of her. There have just been things that she has talked about as a woman who is a public figure as well, married early and was seeking the spotlight, but thusly thrust into the spotlight in a different way than she expected. So I think when we talk about having open and honest conversations about things that we go through, especially when we're talking about marriage and relationships, there are steps, I believe, to get to a healthy, happy union. And sometimes people aren't always aware of the things or the feelings that they may have. And the point initially of some of these conversations is to share that, relate to it, and, understand you're not alone. These are healthy ways you can work through it, or this is how you felt, and it's not the end of the world, or things of that nature. But that's just me. And again, I completely understand people not wanting to embarrass their significant other. I talk about that all the time. One of my huge rules is no public humiliation, no public embarrassment. I don't play those games. No.
And with regards to Steph Curry, right?
Yeah.
The reason why he said that he was cool with it, how do we know that he was cool with it?
We don't.
He's just defending his wife in public.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? From Killer Mike. But I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't have no conversation.
But here's my thing. When I say that, I'm saying with her, but people also point to her outsideness, her whatever. She's still doing podcasts. She's still posting up in little skirts time from time to time. That's what I'm trying to say. Get it out. And so when I say he's cool with it, I understand defending your wife because you got to defend your wife. But I'm also saying these other things are happening, and outside looking in, he doesn't appear to be tripping off of that. So